Ball Facts coming back at you again, and we gonna give you the facts. Okay, guys, today is the day. We gotta talk about Liangelo Ball. That's the most questions I've been getting DM'd. Everybody wants to know what's good with G3. Well, guys, he's been putting in the work, and we ought to stand up and give this man a round of applause.
How are you guys celebrating today?
Today's special because I spent the last 4 months working hard to get my ankle to 100%, and I just got the news.
Strength is back up. I think you really are ready to get back on the court. You good to go?
Hey, let's go, Jello. He's back in action. 100% flex in the mirror, young boy, yeah. People really acted like Lonzo and LaMelo were working on their game, and Jello was sitting at home twiddling his thumbs.
So what's the next step in terms of getting your basketball career back on track?
Yeah, that's all I've been thinking about. So I gotta start looking into my options so I can get back on the court.
There is so much more to Liangelo being at the OKC practice squad for the G League than you guys know. He could have went to other places. That's what people don't get. They think this was the only option. It wasn't his only option, but there are people in the OKC's organization who knew some people connected to the LeVar's camp. And after LeVar's camp had talks amongst themselves, they seen that this was the actual fastest route for him to get looked at by the right people. It's kind of like a shortcut to an NBA tryout. It's a shortcut to the summer league. It's kind of like a shortcut for the NBA to see if LeVar will be quiet enough for them. There is so much connected to this. The people who think this is just Jello on a practice squad are funny to me. I mean, we're talking about Liangelo Ball, the Ball brother that is the bailout. LaMelo misses too many shots, Liangelo bails him out. Lonzo can't cross a guy and get to the rack, Liangelo bails him out. They pass to him and he bails them out.
People starting to reach out to my agent and stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, my 2 options is some G League teams or overseas to Australia.
Are you serious?
Don't get me wrong, Liangelo's number one thing is to get to the NBA. He doesn't care which team. But really, where his heart is where his dad's heart is. He's trying to get to where his brothers are. Other teams want to give him options overseas, not even just the NBL. But if he doesn't see it getting him closer to his brothers, then he's really not trying to mess with it.
Do you think you would be a great fit for the Hawks?
Yeah, I think I'll be a great fit. They probably could use some wing player that can score for them. And also, it'll be fun playing with Melo again.
I talked to Jermaine about you playing with Melo. He was saying, I don't know if the media are going to spin that a different way. I talked to Jermaine, and Jermaine talked with the team about Jello joining the Hawks. I thought that would have been a great idea, but I think they was looking at it a different aspect. Instead of the Hawks, it would be the LaMelo and Liangelo show.
You dang right it would be the LaMelo and Liangelo show. See, they know that. They know if they join both of those 2 guys on one team, their league would get exposed. To combine those 2 is to unleash fury. You guys want to know what the Liangelo cheat code is? It's giving him one of his brothers as the point guard. You give him LaMelo or you give him Lonzo at the 1 and put him on the floor, you are going to see buckets dropped all day long at the highest level. Yes, the NBA. So the NBL knew Liangelo would start leading their league in points and LaMelo would start leading their league in assists, and they would just look like, whoa, the Ball boys went there and took over. Even Jermaine knew if we let Liangelo on the team, he's going to be the leading scorer. And right now, we're focusing on Melo, and that's cool. All that's cool and all that. I get it. But right now, we're focusing on the fact that Liangelo on that team with LaMelo would have went bonkers. And I don't care what anybody says. Come on, guys, just look. Look at the facts. Look at this man with the bum ankle. Watch how he dominated. He could shoot a horrible percentage and still dominate, still get his buckets, still get the W. How? So on a hot night, there is no stopping him. And then people say, what are you saying? He's better than Michael Jordan. He's Kobe Bryant. No, what I'm saying is when you put him with his brother at the point guard, he becomes a bigger, stronger JJ Redick. JJ Redick that can get his shot off. JJ Redick that puts up 17 threes. You know how you'll see a game where JJ Redick shot only 6 times and then he made 4 or 5 and you're like, man, why didn't you shoot more? Just think if JJ Redick was swoller and was getting his shot off and he was shooting 15 times. How many points do you think he would have? Don't you think there would be some double teams and then other people will be open? But some people don't want that because that would mean LeVar is right. Some people do not want LeVar to be right anymore. He's been wrong sometimes. He's been right sometimes. And he's been right on some key things. And people do not like it. It's not good for them.
I'll play good with him. It's like,
Right. I know what y'all can do together.
What do you think of the fact that you could hurt Melo's draft stock?
I know if I played with him, I wouldn't. It's just what the media thinks. I understand what they're saying, but I don't agree with it.
Now, Jello is going to be good no matter what team he goes to, even if he doesn't play with his brothers, because he's a good shooter. He's a hard worker. He's going to be straight. But we're talking about the cheat code. We're talking about the chemistry of his brothers and him for so long. Some people do not want to see Liangelo Ball's cheat code. They do not want him to be unlocked.
I ain't trying to mess up what he got going, even though I would like to play with him, but I just got to wait and see. I got to weigh my options out. I already know how Melo plays, so if I played over there, it'll make Melo look better and the team. It's kind of just up in the air right now.
See, Liangelo's not trying to go overseas again and have some jealous teammates not give him the ball. See, LaMelo's young, goofy, likable, and he is the point guard. So basically, you got to get along with the point guard because he's holding the ball. But Jello is quiet. He's not a social butterfly. He's just like, he's going to be cool with you and all that. But his personality is his personality. And on the basketball court, even more so, the guy's just like, give me the ball and I'll get you a bucket. And those kind of teammates are hard to deal with because you get on a team where everybody is trying to make it. Everybody wants shine.
You know how I was trying to go overseas? Mm-hmm. I gave it a lot of thought and I decided I'm not going to go. Because I've been hearing some stuff about how they say it was going like affect Melo kind of like in a negative way. So I want him to get like drafted as high as possible.
Yeah, that's a good brother.
Yeah.
Why did you come to that decision?
Even if there's the slightest chance of hurting Melo's draft stock or whatever, then I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just leave it alone. And he can do his own thing and potentially be #1 pick.
Now, Jello decided he's not going to push to try to get over there and get on his brother's team. Jello is like, he's for the family. And he put LaMelo first. Like, bro, do your thing. We're all in this together. Do your thing. And I can respect that. But the mainstream media does not want to see this family come up together, succeed together, do anything great together. And they also don't want LeVar to be too right. A few things here and there, they're like, okay, but not too right. Not on big subjects, you know, or people might start really listening to this dude. That's what they're thinking. They don't want him to be on TV like he was before. They don't want him to be popular. They don't want him to spread that mindset. They want him to stay in hibernation. They think he's been quiet. And, you know, there are two things that will bring LeVar out of hibernation. One of them is not playing his sons the way he thinks they should be played. And then number two is when he's right. And, you know, Jermaine Jackson already let the cat out of the bag. These NBA teams are worried about LeVar starting to speak up. They don't want him bashing their teams when they don't play his sons the way he said. And then they don't want him taking credit if they play his sons the way he say they need to. Because it's just starting to get too much media exposure for him when he does that. And they don't want that LeVar mindset, that LeVar ownership, that LeVar family mindset to start getting spread. And I'll tell you guys who think that Liangelo didn't make it and Liangelo got snubbed from the summer league and the NBA draft because he wasn't good enough. That's not the reason. He is paying the price for the LeVar mindset. And you who think, well, what about Lonzo? What about LaMelo? Don't you get that LeVar's mindset was a threat to them it was at its peak when Liangelo was trying to get into the draft. Not when LaMelo was trying to get in. Not when Lonzo was trying to get in. You have to remember, at the time that Liangelo was being drafted, the JBA was in full swing. And we know what the JBA was coming up against. The NCAA, the G League. If Liangelo would have got drafted at that time, it would have made LeVar seem more like a genius. It would have gave Liangelo more money to start backing Big Baller Brand, backing the JBA, pushing it up. It would have been a dumb move on their part to bring Liangelo in during that draft. Don't you guys get that? And then if Liangelo gets drafted, how much more appealing does that make the JBA when not only one NBA guy is sponsoring it, two, and they're both brothers. They come from the same father who created it. Now, when Liangelo and Lonzo put their money together, put their influence together, they can recruit better people to the JBA. I mean, come on, guys. This is a no-brainer. Just look at it. Lonzo and LaMelo were not trying to get drafted while their dad was coming up against the NCAA and the NBA's G League. If they were, it would have been different for them too. No one player is more important than preserving the system that keeps the rich elite on the top. If they would have drafted Jello at that time, it wouldn't have been a smart move at all. People that can't see that Jello's not being drafted had to do with more than his game are blind. How does the California State scoring champion, highest scorer on an undefeated #1 high school team in the nation go undrafted? You let his dad take on the NCAA and the NBA's G League, Nike's Adidas, and so on, and I'll tell you how. When Lonzo was getting drafted, LeVar was just a welcome big mouth on ESPN. And he was just only experimenting with a little brand. He didn't have a loved Facebook show. He didn't start his own league. He wasn't making tons of money with BBB. He wasn't taking that seriously. They thought they were making money through ratings, and that's all it was when they brought LeVar on there. But when he started cashing checks that his big mouth wrote, that's when they got worried. But there was no obstruction for Lonzo to get drafted. They were like, Lonzo, come on in. Your dad poses no threat right now. As well as the same thing for LaMelo during his draft time. LeVar doesn't seem like a threat again. The brand's been dragged through the mud. The boys look disinterested. The JBA feels like a too good to be true dream that we woke up from and it never even happened. They slandered LeVar's name in the media many times. And they're like, our job is done. We've busted the big baller brand bubble. People are not going to jump on that bandwagon anymore. And they're like, okay, LeVar, we're willing to take your son. Now we're willing. And especially since LaMelo's going to make them tons of money. And if he does sign with another brand, the big companies will love the message that sends to the middle and lower class just to take the check, forget the family, all that. And, they're like, come on in. They're not afraid of that LeVar mindset being spread right now. And the NBA is trying to keep LeVar in check basically by saying to LeVar through Jermaine, if you poke your head up, you'll have another son go undrafted, so go away. They know that when LeVar speaks on his sons in the NBA, like the games and the teams, that his persona gets bigger, his reputation, his ideals. Last time they let him speak about his son's basketball on ESPN and the games, the next thing they know, he's challenging their sponsors system. He's challenging their G League.
It's crazy that you just called because I was just telling Melo that I just got off the phone with the head NBA scout. He was like, okay, well, JJ, let me ask you this question. What if we drafted LaMelo #1? I said, okay. He said, well, what if we drafted him #1 and we don't start LaMelo? What if we playing him 12 to 14 minutes a game? Will his dad trip out and say, oh, this bull, LaMelo don't need to be on this team?
If LeVar was not coming out with a brand, if LeVar was not starting his own league, if LeVar wasn't promoting family and ownership, they wouldn't care what he said after the games. They wouldn't care if he was saying, oh, you should have played my son this way or that way. No, it's what comes with him. They don't want him to get attention because that eventually comes back up. And they don't want these other guys right now that are coming up in high school to get that ideal. All the shoe companies will start running out of money if they run out of athletes, if athletes start wising up, being smarter, and that billions of dollars in the shoe industry gets more spread out to the people. In 2018, when Liangelo was trying to get drafted, was when Big Baller Brand was a threat to big business and establishment. And I will tell you why. Not mostly because of the Facebook show, not mostly because of the Triple B shoes sales, not mostly because of the JBA, but because their family was together. We don't stand a chance alone, and they know it. When Jello was up to be drafted, Lonzo was getting BBB tattoos. Melo was rocking NB1s. They were doing music videos together. Together, they had something for everyone. If you hated LeVar, you would love LaMelo. If you hated Lonzo, you loved Tina. If you hated Melo, you loved Jello. They literally had endless possibilities as a family together in whatever they were going to do. The China incident wasn't the main thing that hurt Liangelo. Him leaving college wasn't the worst thing that hurt Liangelo. His ankle wasn't even the worst thing that hurt him. It was his father challenging the system that took a crazy toll on Liangelo's career that you guys may not understand. But even a blind man could see that Liangelo was a level ahead of the people he played overseas. And that was with the hurt ankle. The main thing that hurt Liangelo is that he was next up when his family was together. It was his turn to be drafted when they were strong and ready to disrupt the system. Look at Steven Jackson and Meta World Peace all over ESPN after the fight they had in the stands with the fans in Indiana. Come on now. Jello's China incident is not the main reason that stopped him from being on that scene. People have done crazy stuff and still been allowed to be in that scene. Some of you been waiting on my return. Well, the facts are back. I'm coming with more series. I'm gonna go find some players around the US, do some stories on them. I'm gonna keep giving the facts on the family. We're not gonna stop. Share these videos. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Ball facts again. Peace.